All right, today we are continuing talking about our coordinate geometry. And today we're really switching our focus from distance and slope into midpoints. So the distance and slope still will come into play some, but really focusing on the midpoints. Looking at your green sheet that you got the other day, remember that our midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. So go ahead and take a second, pause the video, try 7-126. We'll pick up here in just a second. So here we're drawing our triangle. Should be pretty easy. We all should have been able to do letter A there. Let's make sure we're labeling here. A is at 0, 0. B is at 2, 6. C is at 7, 0. So we are wanting to find the midpoint of AB. So let's label it x1, y1, x2, y2, finding our x coordinate. We have 0 plus 2 over 2. Finding our y, we have 6 plus 0 over 2. Calculating this, 2 over 2, 6 over 2, or the point 1, 3. So let's go ahead and put that point. Boom. 1, 3, point P. Let's even label it 1, 3. Okay? Then it says, let's find the midpoint of BC. So just kind of regurgitating. Let's just leave this as x1, y1 so we can do the same x2, y2. A little bit trickier perhaps. We get 7 plus 2 over 2. We get 6 plus 0 over 2. Or we get 9 over 2, 6 over 2, or 4.5 and 3. So 4.5 right here, right there, Q, 4.5, 3. So we just have found the midpoint. So what do we really know here? We know these are equal. We know these are equal. Okay? Lastly, it says prove the length of the mid-segment, PQ. So if we look here at PQ, okay, is half the length of AC. Also verify that. Well, we can count this, right? We have 1, 2, 3 and a half. So PQ is 3.5. AC, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. We also know they're parallel. They are both horizontal. And if we calculated the slopes are equal at 0. So, kind of a nice little warm-up, looks at some midpoints and kind of what that means. All right, go ahead and take some time to do 127 as well as we look at kind of a similar one. So pause the video, try this one as well. So it says to help Cassie draw AM. So we have A at 3, 4, M at 8, 11. We'll fill that in. Okay. Then extend the line segment to find a point B so that M is the middle of AB. So we need to extend this, okay, so that M is the middle of B. So we are going to put point B somewhere out here. We just need to know exactly how far, okay? So to do this, okay, we know that AM should be the same length as MB. So first, we're going to find the distance of AM, okay? So when we do that, we know that this is the mid. Well, I'm going to actually shortcut it here. So we know our formula is x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, well here we don't know B. Okay, so let's call B x2, y2. Okay, but we do know our midpoint. So we know our midpoint for x is 8 is equal to 3 plus x2 over 2. And we know our y of our midpoint, 11, is equal to 4 plus y2 over over 2. Then we can just calculate these. So calculating them, I'm going to multiply by 2. I'm going to run it at the same time. Cancels my fractions. I get 16 equals 3 plus x2. I get 22 is equal to 4 plus y2. Then just subtract out. And I get b, which I'm going to write up here, is the point 12, subtract 3, 13, and 18. So if I go over here to 13, up to 18, boom, this is point B. Okay? Esther thinks she understands how to find the midpoint on a graph. I always look for the middle of the line segment, but what if the coordinates are not easy to graph? She says with her team, find the midpoint of KL. If K and L are this, be sure to share your method. Okay, so again, this is just a midpoint formula. 98 plus 2 over 2. 125 plus 15 over 2 gives me 50, and 70 is the middle. Okay, and lastly, letter C, it says test your team's method by verifying the midpoint between -5.7 and 9.4 is 2 and 5.5. Really same thing. I'm taking -5 plus 9 over 2, and 7 plus 4 over 2. So we get 4 over 2 and 11 over 2, which is the point 2 and 5.5. So continuing along these, they start to get a little repetitive here, but just some good extra practice here as we start to look at some of our triangles. So 128, okay? Go ahead, pause the video, see kind of what you can do with this. So letter A, variety of different answers. I think this looks like a right isosceles triangle. Okay, so to prove that, we need to have 2 equal sides. And a right angle. Okay, so use your algebra tools to verify these. Okay, so first I'm going to look at slope of this. So this looks like my right angle. Okay, so I'm going rise over run. We're going up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So 2 over 6. Okay, that would simplify to 1/3. That's my slope. As I look at this one, I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one is going down 6, -6 over 2, or -3. Since these are opposite reciprocals, I know they are perpendicular. Using the distance, I'm going to shortcut this here. Let's say RD is perpendicular to DN. Okay, use your distance formula. That's what we did last time. We have x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And we need to find our distance of RD and DN. Okay, both of these should get you the square root of 40. So they are equal. And then lastly, it says, Randy wonders if there's anything special about the midpoint of Rn. So we can find the midpoint of, and find the length. Each segment is square root of 20. And again, I'm kind of shortcutting those distance formulas, but we did those the other day. Then our last one here, it says on a map, Carrie set a coordinate axis. He noticed the town of Coiner is located at the point 3-1. We'll call Coiner. Woodinville is at 15-7. So it says if a town wants to place the school at the midpoint between the towns, where should it be located? So finding the midpoint here, we should go, again, I'm just going to shortcut this. Calculate the midpoint, check your answer. Pause the video. Your midpoint should be at 9, 4. Okay? This is the point 3-1, point 15, 7. So 9, 4, this is my midpoint. Okay? How far would it be from each town? We know it'll be equal, but we have to find the distance of CM. And your distance of CM, again, I'm going to shortcut, you calculate it, should be the square root of 45. Okay? Then as we look at letter B, okay, it says Woodinville argues that since it has twice as many students attending, it should be closer to Woodinville. Where should the school be if it was 1/3 of the way to Woodinville to Coiner? Okay, these start to get a little bit more difficult. We'll spend some time on Friday going through this. So I'm just going to rapid fire through these answers. This one should be at the point 11.5. If it's a quarter of the way to Woodinville to Coiner, the school should be at 12 and 5.5, and 2/3 should also be at 11.5. Okay, we're just going to leave it there for today. So today, your homework should be or is 7-131 to 7-137 and a homework quiz. Have a great day, stay safe, and we'll see you